All right, Monday Fun Day. Welcome back in here. NBA tip-off show powered by WagerTalk.com. A packed slate of games in the association here tonight. We're going to hear from the contrarian god, see what the fellas think about that game. Of course, we're going to talk some totals, some dogs, and a few best bets along the way. Not to mention a prop or two. Bottom line is we got a lot that can be bet upon and make it a profitable NBA Monday as we welcome in Monday crew here as Skee Profit in the house, ready to roll, as is RC, Ronald Kabang, and the prop god, Mr. Andy Lang, ready to roll here on this Monday, gentlemen. Let us start like we usually do with the contrarian gods. And they got an interesting one they're looking at here tonight. And it involves the Boston Celtics getting ready to take on the New Orleans Pelicans as this number continued to rise here up as high as 9 in the marketplace. And I get it, right? Celtics got absolutely thoroughly embarrassed, were horrific against the Clippers. Pelicans sucked also, though, there, Skee. So 9 feels like a big number with two teams looking to bounce back after letdown performances. Is 9 too much for you? You in cahoots with the contrarian gods here?
Yeah, this is a tough game. Boston, they've been very good at home. I know they're off a couple home losses now, but they've been very good at home, and they let us know in the beginning of the season that they want to play better at the house for their fans. They're also off of a loss, and they've been pretty dominant to start games off of a loss as well this season. And I think they're also 5-2 against the spread. So it's very hard to step in front of Boston. But today, I'm just not sure how focused they'll be. They do have another home game tomorrow versus a team that's been giving them some trouble this season, and that's the Pacers. So if I think they care more about that game, seeing 3 of their big men on the injury report, I think the Pelicans, after a couple poor performances, right the ship here. So I could lean with the contrarian guys, Pelicans +9. I've honestly been trying to find every reason I can to back them today. I just haven't pushed confirm yet.
It feels RC just too many damn points. I mean, I get it. They've been great at home, the Celtics, but it's been going the wrong way here at this point. I mean, a win is probably something they're just looking for right now. Not to mention that both teams can bomb away, so it's kind of hard to pull away if both teams are hitting threes here. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, Skee brought up a lot of great points there. I mean, they've lost and failed to cover the last 2 home games. I know they've been, dominating that aspect of the game whole season, being at home and all that. But might be the time where they're kind of getting overconfident, and that's kind of what they look like. They also, like Skee said, first leg of back-to-back games. They do have a more important conference game against the Pacers tomorrow, and we know on these back-to-backs, typically either Horford or KP sits one, and then they flip flop the next game. The other player sits, but I know KP did show up at shoot around, so it might be maybe his game today. Horford sits tomorrow. Who knows? So I think with their offense kind of struggling and all these roster movements, through the last few games, it seems like their offense has really been kind of struggling because of that. Like the chemistry is not there. We know that what I've seen so far too. I looked at the Celtics, at home against non-conference opponents with a winning record. So these upper tier teams from the Western Conference, they've yet to cover a game in that spot. 0-3 ATS. If we look at the Pelicans side, they look great against non-conference opponents. 7-1 straight up, 6-2 against the spread when they are rested in these non-conference games, and they are rested going into this one here. That includes 2-0 straight up and against the spread against teams with a winning record. They actually beat the Sixers and the Cavs earlier this season, both by double digits. So for me, I'm not too sure that they win this game outright, but I think they have a good shot at keeping within the 9 points here.
Yeah, it certainly does feel like a bit of a market overreaction there, Andy, in this one. Although we've seen New Orleans, fall flat a number of times here. So something's got to give here tonight. If you think they're both going to be able to hit shots, the prop market's got to be pretty exciting in this game as well.
Yeah, for sure. It does seem like a lot of points. I mean, it's like okay, they're riding that huge streak at home, and then they drop one, they drop another. What's the motivation here to really, really perform well? You would think there might be a couple games where they let up, but I mean, this Pelicans team, they suck right now. I mean, like Charlotte, Dallas, Utah, those are their most recent wins. So it's not a team I want to bet on. But yeah, I think I'm probably with the guys that 9 is just a pretty big number. So I will say Boston hasn't been that bad against teams in the first game of their back to backs. They win them, but a couple of them have gone to overtime. They went to overtime against Minnesota, went to overtime against Detroit, but they did come out on top there. So I'll lean ever so slightly with the contrarian gods, but it's certainly not going to be something that I bet on. I do like Herb Jones over 8.5 points. This guy that's gone over in 13 out of 14 games. The one game he didn't go over was against Denver. He only played 19 minutes and he scored 8 points there. He's averaging 12 points this month. He's getting 16 minutes, 8.2 shot attempts. And Boston gives up over 18 points to small forward. So if you're looking at a way to kind of exploit this Boston team, I think you can do it with Herb Jones. So he doesn't need too many shots to go in to clear this number, and I like the trend that he's on. So low number tonight, and I know it's against Boston at Boston, but they haven't been great defensively the last couple home games. So give me Herb Jones over 8.5 points.
All right, Herb Jones up and over here in that one tonight. Contrarian Gods taking a look at those New Orleans Pelicans, taking as many points as you can. All right, we got a big featured matchup coming up here tonight. Out west with Denver welcoming in the rejuvenated and new head coach, Milwaukee Bucks here, Doc Rivers. I believe now sitting on the sideline with his team here tonight, apparently. 4, I think, is what we're starting to see now. That's starting to creep up here a little bit. Skee, this is, I think we saw this, didn't we? Denver, I think, went to Milwaukee and kind of handled business here. Are they going to handle business at home? Feels like a short number here. What do you think?
Well, Milwaukee got rid of their coach, and they've been playing a lot better basketball ever since. If you look at, it's surprising to me, but last 5 game stats show them as a top 10 defensive rated team. I believe, Glenn is going to be on the sideline there tonight. I think they want to, get him off to a good start. I with the Bucks catching the points here. Do I want the Bucks ever laying points? Absolutely not. But they seem to be inspired right now. They're playing defense. And the Nuggets are not playing that great basketball. They've only covered one of their last 7 games. So Bucks +4 would be the way I look at it from a side perspective.
Yeah, is it fortunate, RC? I mean, they've played the Sisters of the Poor here, Milwaukee, over this stretch here. So as long as there's going to be turmoil, you might as well rack up a couple of wins and look pretty good doing it against nobody. Denver's schedule been a little bit more taxing, but these are the kinds of games at home we expect them to show up. Do you expect them to show up here tonight?
Yeah, I know the Bucks. I mean, they've been winning games. They just haven't really been covering them. I know they covered the last 2 or 3, but before that, I think they failed to cover 10 of 11. But like Skee said, the whole coaching aspect of it kind of brings a different view or angle. But I know that they've sort of been struggling more on the road than they have at home. I know they do score less and they give up more on the road as well. I think one thing that I was looking at, for this Bucks team, as dogs, they're not dogs often. The 2 times they were dogs, they were on the road, and that does include one game where they actually lost by 40 points to the Cavs. So maybe these road games, these road dog situations where the Bucks expect them to lose, maybe those are just spots that they don't do well in. I know the Bucks have also failed to cover in both road non-conference games so far this season as well. They failed to cover against the Rockets. They I think they lost to the Spurs. Well, they failed to cover against the Spurs, lost outright to the Rockets. That's what it was. And the Rockets, too, they were in a bad spot. They were on the second leg of back-to-back games, so they couldn't even take advantage of that. I know the Nuggets, they're definitely better at home than they are on the road. 18-4 straight up at home, 14-11 on the road. I think they average about 10 or more points per game at home than they do on the road as well. So offensively, I think the Nuggets should be able to take advantage of this team. I know Skee mentioned the defense of the Bucks in recent form. They played the Cavs twice, and the Pelicans. Pelicans were on the second leg of back-to-back games as well, so that was kind of a tough spot for them. To me, I can only look towards the Nuggets here on the short number. I know, obviously, it's to the point where it's pretty close to where we're asking the Nuggets to just win this game, not have to win by a huge margin. I think they could win by 5-6 points like that. But if it was like 7 or 8, I definitely wouldn't be on the Nuggets at that number.
Yeah, now it certainly seems short enough with them at home. The question, of course, is which team shows up here tonight for these two here, Andy. Are you leaning one way or the other, or anybody in particular you're concentrating on in the prop market?
This is a tough game for props with, you're not really sure what you're getting from Milwaukee. I talked about, taking Jokic under his points, rebounds, and assists when he goes over like 3 or 4 games in a row. But we don't have that trend. And I mean, let's face it, Milwaukee's not guarding many. You can get a new coach, but, you didn't get, new defense on the perimeter and things like that. I will tell you, somebody that has just been just in a really, really bad slump, who's got to break out sometime, is Christian Braun. Like he's been like just terrible. It to the point where his points tonight, this is his points, 3.5. This he only need 2 baskets to get over. But the sad thing is he hasn't been going over. Like 0 for 2 last game. He hasn't gone over he's gone over 1 out of the last 5 games. He's just not this bad. I refuse to believe that he's just going to keep scoring 2 points. This is a guy that averaged 7.7 points per game last month, 9.1 the month before that. October, only a few games, but he still managed 8 points. This month, 4.3. He's just in a really, really bad slump. But this is a guy that's still going to play at minimum 15 minutes. So against this team, where I do expect there to be a lot of points, surely he can make 2 baskets. Like 2 baskets. And I realize I sound like I'm talking like a middle school coach to his team. Like, guys, can we just get 2 baskets? That's like that. Christian Braun, just get 2 baskets tonight. Get to 4 points. Maybe add a free throw in there. And he has a wild night and gets 5 points. But yeah, I'll take Christian Braun to break out of his slump tonight.
All right, Christian Braun, it is to get up and out of that slump here tonight. So we got a contrarian game in the books. We've got a featured matchup coming up, and we're going to get to a total here in a second. But we do want to welcome those of you joining us for the first time here on WagerTalk TV, the NBA tip-off show. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button for us, and take advantage of the opportunity to partner up today only with 1, 2, or all 3 of these guys here with the Fill Your Card promo. That's 25% off just today only up until midnight. Any package, guys, and it can be for one of these guys, could be for all 3 of these guys. You can get 25% off using that code. Are you ready? Card 25, exactly correct. Yes, love the way that works there. 25% off all of it, guys. Take advantage of it today over at WagerTalk.com as we take a look at the total here in our overtime segment. And the total market today has been buzzing. If you guys have been watching, especially with the Lakers and the Rockets, who opened up around 228. We're seeing 232.5 right now. Lakers coming off of that 27 overtime game against Golden State, in which they got every call known to mankind. At least that's what Steve Kerr said. So maybe a little less defense here tonight. Skee, do you agree with the market move to the over? Is that the way we should be looking here?
I think we have to. Just looking at how I miss a lot of things to this game. First, before I forget, I think the Lakers will care about this game. I think LeBron cares about this game, especially because of the altercation that happened between him and Ime last time that they played, and Ime getting ejected. So I do think they'll care about this game. Both teams have been playing with pace lately. The Lakers have not been playing a whole lot of defense. If we just look at their games on the road, I think they've gone over 14 of their last 15. I know they've gone over 5 games in a row in general. The overtime game, I looked up this specific situation. So road teams on the front end of a back-to-back that are off of a road double overtime game. Both games overs, and
Mm.
that's 75% to the over. So it backs that up. At this point right now, just the Lakers on the road, it's a one-way ticket. So yes, over, over, over.
Got to be some points coming in this one. RC, what are you thinking here, man? Ndoka, you're going to be preaching defense, defense, defense. Are we going to get
Hmm.
any of it here tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I know what Ski mentioned that was something that I saw as well, but I seen also the Lakers following OT games, 2-0 to the under so far this season. I know the Rockets also at home they've been a lot better at home defensively than on the road, especially when Dylan Brooks is in the lineup. He's a big part of that defense there. On the road at home in general, 8-4 to the under, allowing 106.9 points per game at home. But there was a period I think between December and January where Dylan Brooks missed some games and they went 3-1 to the over in that spot, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But
Mm.
when they're at home and Dylan Brooks is in the lineup, they're actually 7-1 to the under, and opponents 8-0 to their team total under in that spot as well. So I think that the Rockets do, like I said, I think there was a period where they were giving up a bunch of points. They were going over a little bit, especially when they were on the road. But coming back home, I think they get back on track defensively here. I think the under is probably the way that I would look. I know the numbers going in the opposite direction, but yeah, the under for me.
Looking at the under. All right, kind of a split group here, Andy. If you're expecting points, interesting with the prop market, but if you're expecting an under, it could be a fade coming here. Which one is it for you?
Well, first off, I have to say I love when like high profile coaches and players complain about the refs. Like, okay, Steve Kerr, all right, you've you've never been the beneficiary of some shady
Never.
calls.
Never.
Draymond probably should have been thrown out of the league years ago. But no, I do like. I don't know why I'm gravitating towards these guys with really really low numbers, but I like Torian Prince over 8.5 points. He's coming off an absolute nightmare game. In the double OT game, he only played 24 minutes, which is a miracle. He was in foul trouble, 0 for 2 from the field, double overtime, 0 for 2 for 0 points. So it was the worst game that he could possibly play. But before that, he'd gone over this total in 9 out of 10 games. And the last time he had a nightmare game was January 3rd. He had 0 points in that one. Next game, he had 10 points. He went 3 for 7 from 3-pointers. So I like taking some of these guys when they have just like the worst game possible and you just kind of forget it. And a lot of guys played a lot of minutes for the Lakers in that game. He was not one of them. So he may actually have some legs in this one. The number's too low. I like him to rebound tonight. So give me over 8.5 points on Torian Prince.
I kind of like the way you're heading in that there. Good stuff here. Lakers taking on the Rockets. You guys navigated that segment very well without pissing off the producer and saying anything negative about the Rockets. So we can absolutely continue to hear what you have to say the rest of this show, which is fantastic. All right. So now we got a whole lot of games. We got a whole lot of dogs. And inevitably, a few of these are going to be barking here tonight. So let's check out what we got here, Robin, for our dogs tonight.
That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. And anybody got to say anything, you let me know. That's my dog.
All right, let's check them out here tonight. Bucks, Hornets. Damn, we got a Cavs, Suns, the Rockets, the Blazers, the Nets, the Magic, Pelicans, Grizz, T-Wolves, and of course, everyone's favorite, the Wizards. So there are some intriguing numbers on this board here tonight, Skee, with some teams I can absolutely see winning outright. Which one might be barking for you here?
Yeah, I know which I know which dogs I cannot pick. So and I don't I'll go with this one here because I've been looking at it all day and I think I've actually found some extra support for it that if I'm correct, I'll share it in the best bet segment. I'll go with the Wizards. I'll go with the Wizards +4. And I've been pretty good picking this team. The Spurs have been good. They've covered every game as a favorite, but I just can't lay with any team who's not playing defense. And you look at the Spurs, they've been giving it up. They're bottom 6 defensive rated team in the last 5 games. The Wizards, don't look now, number 11 defensive rated team last 5 games. The Wizards 14-8-2 as a road dog. I think they can keep it within the number, if not win, if they're the better defensive team in this game. So Wizards +4 will be my dog of the day.
Listen, it's they've both these teams have come up here over the last week or so on this show. I mean, both putting in the effort. RC, hard to believe, but yes, effort usually means defense, and we've been seeing a little bit here from both of those teams. But how about you here? Because man, there look like a couple of coin flip games with teams getting points. Which one do you have circled?
Yeah, I want to go back to that contrarian play of the day. I think the Pelicans +9 is a solid one, solid dog to be able to cover here. I know I mentioned some trends earlier on both the Celtics and the Pelican side, but one thing that I didn't mention earlier was sort of like an overreaction to the last 2 losses that the Pelicans had. They were on back-to-back games against the Thunder and the Bucks, 2 games that potentially, obviously Thunder is a in conference game that was super important. Then the next day they had to play a tough Bucks team that was motivated with obviously with the whole coaching change and all that stuff too. So 2 tough spots there. I think they lost by like 20 plus in both of those games. So I think the number being this at 9 is probably just for me, like I said, like an overreaction. This should be a little bit closer down to like 6 or 7 in my opinion. So that's the way that I would look as far as dogs, the Pelicans +9.
All right, like an M Pelicans to get it done here tonight. Maybe even sprinkle a little something there is rolling downhill for the Celtics as of late. And Andy, well, we got a couple of big dogs, a couple of middle of the road, couple of pick 'em prices. Which one of these did you circle for us?
Boy, there's some lines that reek on this one. Trying to a lot of landmines in this one. I feel like I may step on one, but I don't understand how the Miami Heat are 3-point favorites. They're really bad, and I know Phoenix has lost 2 in a row, but that was a little bit predictable. They were going to regress. They had won 8 in a row, and so they go on a road trip. They handle their business pretty easily at Dallas. They lose a real close one to the Pacers, and they drop one against Orlando where they were 4 of 14 from 3-pointers. Bradley Beal going 0 for 5 from 3-pointers. I think this is a pretty nice rebound spot for them, and I know it's a back-to-back, but this Miami team, man, they are just absolutely cratering, and they just got beat pretty bad by the Knicks, and this is I don't know what's going on with them. If they're really trying to hold off until the playoffs, but you look at some of these losses. I mean, beaten handily by Toronto, lose to Atlanta, beaten really bad by Orlando, lose to Memphis by 9, get smashed by the Celtics and by the Knicks. They're not playing well. I know they're at home, but this just feels like a nice rebound spot for Phoenix coming off a bummer loss. Maybe they partied too hard in Orlando. Maybe they went to Disneyland or whatever it was the night before. I don't know. This just anytime you can get points at the Miami Heat right now with guys like Booker and Durant, I'll take it.
Yep, losers of 6 straight, the Miami Heat, and looking to get back in the W column of all teams, the Phoenix Suns. Not going to be easy to do at all. All right, there you go. We've got some dogs in the books here now, and that leaves us some best bets. And if you are new to us here one more time, go ahead, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button if you get a chance. Become part of the WagerTalk TV family. Nobody's got more big game content than we do. Everything you need to know on a daily and weekly basis of all the big events of the week. We have got you covered here at WagerTalk TV. So hit that subscribe button and get ready. We throw 60 seconds on the clock. These guys can do whatever they want with it, provided they give us a best bet somewhere along the line. So Skee, inbounding the ball, dude. 60 seconds to get a bucket. Where are we going for a best bet here tonight?
I will go to the Knicks and Hornets game, and I'll take a look at the Hornets team total under. I think the best number you can get right now is 106.5, or at least that's what I got. So you could be without LaMelo for the Hornets in this one, and that would boost this play even more because we know their offense struggles. But this Hornets team, it's not a team that's trying to win right now. As soon as they made that move to get rid of Rozier, they told us all that we need to know. This Knicks team, when they made their trade, they've been the complete opposite. They've been juggernauts against the spread, 11-3, and they've been 12-2 to the under, playing really good defense. They've held opponents since that trade to an average of 100.4 points per game. So I think that good defense continues. The Knicks do play at a slow pace, and I see too many ways for this game to stay under the 106.5. So Hornets team total, my best bet.
All right. Like it. And that the full total would be greater in 224.5 down to 221. And at least the Knicks don't have to worry about Julius Randle taking 70 shots anymore in a game. At least for the time being. RC, what do you got rolling for a best bet here tonight? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm looking towards the Grizzlies and the Kings game to the under. Actually, this is I know this is a low total for a Kings game, but I think it's a low total for a good reason. The Kings on the road, they've been more of an under team, 14-7-1 to the under on the road this season, including 3-1 to the under when the total is under 230. So even these lower totals, they're going under. The only reason why one of the games went over in that spot because the total was set at 217.5, and they barely went over that. I think none of the games went over the 221 mark, and today's total is 223. The Grizzlies, I know they've been kind of surprising teams. They covered 4 straight games, but and they've been doing it shorthanded, and most of it has been on the defensive side of the ball. They've limited opponents to 4 straight team total unders. Grizzlies on the second leg of back-to-back games have been really good unders as well. I think second leg of back-to-back games versus a rested opponent, 6-0 to the under, combined score of 216.5 average there in that spot there. I also like that Kennard is out, so under 223.
Ooh, all right. I like it. Under in that matchup there. 223 right now. Opened at 227. So there we go. All right. One best bet left here. And Andy Lang, it is all yours. 60 seconds on the clock. Where are you looking here tonight?
I am looking back to the Lakers game. I think there's a really nice prop in that one. But just want to remind everybody about some of the specials and deals that we have going on at WagerTalk. I just put up my very first Super Bowl prop play, which there'll be several coming out over the next few weeks. 4% best bet is up. Love the line. Go grab that. Jump on it right now. You'll get all props that I have for the Super Bowl. We're on a 46-25 run in the NFL. Coming off, we only had one play on Sunday, 4% cash. So looking to continue the momentum and the year on a good note. I'm going LeBron over 7.5 assists tonight. Played 48 minutes. That was a season high. 25 shot attempts, second highest of the season. 20 rebounds, season high. 36 points, third highest of the season. Last game he played 40-plus minute was December 12th. The next game he had 14 assists. On December 5th, he played 40 minutes. He went over the next game. Take his assist. This is going to be an assist game, not a points game for LeBron tonight.
Ooh, all right. Expecting to be dishing here tonight. All right, let's recap it one more time for you as RC liking that under with Sacramento and Memphis here tonight. Skee also liking a team total under there with the Hornets right around that 106, 105.5. And you just heard him, Andy, laying out LeBron James over 7.5 assists. Expect him to be dishing it out here tonight. And do not forget, once that clock hits midnight, guys, no longer will you be able to take advantage of the 25% off your entire cart. It's a great opportunity to look at these 3-day, 7-day, 30-day all-access packages, especially leading in, of course, to the Super Bowl and college hoops and NBA. I mean, so much going on right now. Take 25% off anything you throw in your cart tonight until midnight. All you got to do is use that code, guys. Use the code, guys, will you? Cart 25. Just put it in there, and you guys will be ready to roll here tonight. No limit to that code either, guys. So take advantage of it while you can. And, of course, make plans to come back and join us again tomorrow for another edition of the NBA Tip-Off Show. And before we leave you, if it is more big game breakdowns you're looking for, more best bets, all you have to do is click on that video on your screen right now, and you'll get access to all the big games coming up this week. That's what we do here at Wager Talk TV. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Best of luck with all your plays. We'll talk again soon.